Microsoft has officially started the road to next gen by announcing the codename for their next Xbox. Let's talk about it. Hello there everybody, and welcome to The Comfy Spot. My name is Tyler, and today we are going to be talking about this surprise random news drop that we got today of the official codename for the next Xbox. This news came courtesy of the brand new CEO of Xbox, Miss Asha Sharma. She announced this on Twitter randomly today at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm just going to read the tweet here. She says, quote, "Great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the codename for our next generation console. Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week," end quote. So there you have it. That is our first official, real hard, locked in confirmation of anything about the next Xbox from Xbox themselves, from Microsoft themselves. Project Helix, the code name for the next Xbox, and our first official real confirmation from anyone at Microsoft and Xbox that the next system will be a console PC hybrid that plays both Xbox console games and PC games. So, I mean, none of this is really new information per se, barring the code name, but it's nice to get this official confirmation from Microsoft themselves. And again, I was not expecting this at all. I didn't think we'd be hearing really anything more concrete and official about this next system until closer to the summertime. I certainly did not think we'd be hearing this right now, so soon after Miss Sharma came into her position, her role here at Xbox, but lo and behold, here we are. And the other thing that we did get from this, aside from just the code name Project Helix, we got a logo for Project Helix. And the logo, as you see, it looks like a DNA strand of sorts. You might be wondering why that's the case. To me, it's definitely meant to signify the combining of console gaming and PC gaming being merged into one system, taking two different methodologies, ideologies, gaming philosophies, just two different markets, two different worlds, like, so to speak, more or less, bridging them together into this one thing. This is exciting. I am very excited about this. We've kind of talked about this on the channel before in the past, over the past year or so, about the future of Xbox, what that would look like, what this new system would look like, especially after the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X came out, and how those were giving us a glimpse into the future of what the next Xbox system would be. So we've talked about these things before. None of this is necessarily new information, but now that we have all this here, I do want to again just bring back some of these points that we've talked about over the past year and change or so. Number one being, the price of this thing. How much is it going to cost? We already know from previous conversations with the past Xbox leadership, with Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, that the next system is going to be a premium device. So we already know it's going to be an expensive thing. How pricey is it going to be? Is it going to be in that $700 to $800 range? Is it going to be more like $1,000? I mean, it's anyone's guess. Who knows? Especially with how expensive components are right now for consoles and just gaming in general, for computer parts and stuff. And how Microsoft has been raising the price of their consoles as a result of this. Valve has delayed the Steam machine a bit because they're still trying to figure out pricing. Nintendo, it just, there's so much going on right now. And I mean, while that is not going to be the case forever, I imagine that would not be the case when this thing comes out, possibly late 2027. I don't foresee things getting any better anytime soon. So nevertheless, you take that into account, what this device is supposed to be, is likely going to be a pretty expensive thing. You're going to have to pay a fair chunk of change for it. That gets into the other question of how many versions of this device will there be at launch? We already know, of course, Microsoft is making their own version of it, but there have been rumors, there's been speculation that Microsoft could partner with other companies to put out other versions of this new Xbox, whatever Project Helix is going to be. It's a thing something I've talked about before, about how maybe Microsoft could partner with ROG or I don't know, not Asus, but ROG or Lenovo or LG, I don't know, some other PC gaming companies to put out their own versions of this next Xbox, of whatever Project Helix is. That way you could have some that might run the pricing gamut. You might have one company that puts out a cheaper version of it that's a bit less powerful, maybe akin to something like the Series S. Microsoft, I imagine they would have one of the more expensive, one of the more premium versions of it. Maybe another company puts out a premium version, or maybe Microsoft is at like the high end. We have the premium version, and maybe they put out their own like lower end version. And then there are other companies that are like in the mid-tier version of whatever Project Helix is going to be. This will harken back to the original idea of the Steam Machine back a decade ago when Valve first tried that, and they were partnering with other companies as well, where other companies could put out their own versions of the Steam Machine that ran the gamut in terms of pricing and specs and so on and so forth. Valve is bringing the Steam Machine back now as their own individual thing, but I do think that idea they had a decade ago could work better nowadays. I do think Xbox and Microsoft partnering with ROG on the Xbox Ally and Ally X was a bit of a test run to see how that idea could work out, perhaps. So I would imagine if there are going to be multiple versions made by other companies, ROG will probably be one of them there, with their own Xbox console, Project Helix console in the lineup in some way, shape, or form. The other point of concern that I have regarding Project Helix is going to be the ease of use of this, because again, this is going to be something different for the games industry entirely. We've not had someone try and do a console PC gaming hybrid like this. Consoles are typically their own thing. PC gaming is its own more complex thing. Consoles are meant to be a more simplified version. If you're trying to bridge the two, that introduces some problems. That opens a bunch of cans of worms in terms of making a simple, easy to use, turn on, no fuss, or as little fuss as possible gaming experience for those who just want that with console gaming, but also offering the more open, free form, and a bit more in-depth, high-level experience that you can get with PC gaming. It's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft is able to blend those together to kind of appease all parties, or maybe make it more console gaming, more appealing or more focused towards the console gamer, but also giving them the levers and the tools and the switches to turn and stuff for that higher end experience if they want it, but it's not something that is like so much in the forefront of the gaming experience that you have to engage with it if you don't want to. It's going to be tough to see. Again, if the reports that we've been getting over the past year are accurate in any way, shape, or form, this new Xbox Project Helix will be similar to the current ROG Xbox Ally devices that have a forward-facing Xbox gaming experience that you can jump in and out of if you want to, and if you jump out of it, you can go into full-on Windows at any point in time. That is kind of the idea of what these reports that we've been hearing about are saying you'll be able to do with Project Helix. The thing is, while I don't have an ROG Xbox Ally or Ally X myself, if you are kind of paying attention to any conversations since those have released, a common criticism is that Windows, as it pertains to Windows gaming, is not the most intuitive or ideal thing to use. It can be very annoying. So the Windows side of things has definitely been an issue when it comes to ROG, to the Xbox Ally and Ally X devices. And if that remains the case, that continues to be the problem with Project Helix, rather, in whatever form Project Helix looks like, is going to be a even bigger problem than it is on the Xbox Ally devices. And I say that because the Xbox Ally devices, they are definitely more of a niche product because of just like simply their price point. They are not cheap devices by any stretch of the imagination. So but with that price point and them also being, more so PC gaming handhelds and all, that automatically puts them into a far more niche market where like the most diehard, keyed and glued in people are the ones that are buying that. Not really your casual person who just casually plays games at the end of the day. Not your person who is like, oh, like I got this for my son, for my teenager, whatever the case may be. Like, they're not the ones who are buying ROG Xbox Ally devices at all. But they are the ones who will buy your console. So if the issues that are happening, that people are having, Windows related issues, I should say, that people are having with the Xbox Ally devices are present with the console experience, people are not going to stand for that. More people will be exposed to it. People are going to have many issues with that. They will be raising hell about that for sure. So hopefully Xbox and Microsoft are able to get that smoothed out. And I guess that also goes into another thing with ease of use, that being, being able to just jump between your Xbox games and your PC games, as smoothly and seamlessly as possible. From what I have read and gathered online ever since, again, the Xbox Ally devices came out, that Xbox gaming experience in terms where, you have all your gaming libraries right there. You could easily jump between them all and jump into your games. From what all I've heard and read, it is actually fairly easy, fairly seamless. It is pretty great overall. So hopefully that is still the case with Project Helix on, in whatever form this bigger full-on version of the Xbox gaming experience looks like on these devices. Hopefully Microsoft is able to pull it off. We will have to wait and see. At the end of the day, though, I think one of the biggest problems or issues or challenges rather that Microsoft is going to face with Project Helix is 100% going to be how they message this device, how they get across to people that, yes, this is a hybrid system, but it's not a PC gaming. It's not a PC gaming rig. It's nothing. That is not what this is. That this is still a console that is able to do PC gaming related functions or just straight up PC functions. Because again, if you've read reports, they do indicate that these new system, you'll be able to just go on out into full-on Windows and run Windows apps like you would in a regular PC. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it seems like Project Helix is going to basically be a PC with the Windows gaming experience. I mean, the Xbox gaming experience up front and center. But whatever that form that looks like for Project Helix, again, we don't know definitively, Microsoft is going to have to make sure that they market this very carefully and very smartly so that the general consumer, that person I was talking about before, those people who are not the ones buying your Xbox Ally devices, the ones who are just buying a system for their friend, for their kids, for themselves to be able to play games real casually after a long day at work, after a day at school, during vacations, just having fun over the weekend, chilling on the couch, chilling in the bedroom, playing in their bed, whatever the case may be. How do they message it to them that this is something different, but it is not, and although it is radically different, it is still going to be something that is for you, that it is not something that is going to be too complex, too convoluted, too much work for you to be able to enjoy, that you are still going to be able to get that simple, easy pick up and play console experience that you like, that you come to console gaming for, but that there are also extra bells and whistles that you can enjoy and engage with if you would like to, that might even enhance your gaming experience on console with the extra PC gaming features, especially with the access to all these other PC gaming libraries, be that Steam, Epic Games Store, whatever the case may be. Having access to all those libraries and being able to say, hey, you don't just have your current Xbox library and all the games you already own and have played on your Xbox. You don't just have access to those. You have access to Steam and Itch and Epic Games Store and GOG and Ubisoft Store if you want to use that. Battle.net, whatever the case may be. You have access to all of these gaming platforms. You can play all of these games on your single device. You do not need a PC for that. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to message that and get that across effectively in a very clear, understandable way that is not intimidating to anybody. I guess another point of contention or question, again, that we've all had is, you know, with how Microsoft has been recently in terms of Xbox is more than just a box. It is beyond the console, it's the cloud, it's your phone, it's your TV, it's your computer, it's your tablet, it's whatever you want it to be essentially at this point. You know, why would someone buy the next Xbox when, you know, your games are going everywhere, you know, where kind of they focus less and less on the console? How do you say to people, all right, you should buy an Xbox, even though this is a hybrid system now? Why not? Why would you buy this instead of just going full on PC gaming, especially if this is going to be as expensive as, you know, as expensive as it's seeming to be, you know, possibly in the $1,000 range? How do you tell people and convince people to buy in on this instead of a PC gaming setup or a competitor console such as the PlayStation 6? I mean, that's going to be a tough thing to do, especially more so as it pertains to PC gaming. And I think it all comes down to, again, getting that message across that this gives you that PC gaming experience if you want it in a more simple, easy to use fashion. Because I know, at least for me, and I'm sure many others out there as well, PC gaming is something that we just do not want to have to deal with, because there are more bits and bots involved with it, as opposed to just playing on a console where the most you got to do is update a game or update your system every so often. You don't have to worry about drivers or updating your RAM or updating your CPU, your GPU, none of that stuff. That's, you know, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's just simple plug in and play. It's going to be interesting to see for sure. And I do think it is funny how this announcement came the day after we got the report that Sony is backing away from PC. Again, kind of, you know, I feel like, I don't think that was purposeful, but again, you can't have to separate the conversation for the two. Like, if PC games were, you know, Sony was going to be putting the games on PC in the future, they were going to be able to say, hey, Xbox to say, hey, you could play this on Xbox. And Sony definitely does not want that to be said about any of their games going forward. They have made that very, very clear. So those are just some of my thoughts right now on this Project Helix announcement. I'm very excited about this for sure. I do not imagine we are getting this console until late 2027 at the earliest. I mean, again, reports have indicated that that is going to be the case. So yeah, you know, we are officially starting the road to the next generation of Xbox gaming. I am very excited to see what form this is going to take, what this is going to look like, what the box itself will look like, or boxes will look like. I'm excited to see what changes Asha is bringing to Xbox, just, you know, the platform, the brand, and just I'm excited. I am very excited. I am all open to this idea, this future of a system, a box that is able to play games from multiple different locations, PC gaming and console gaming. I love that idea. I hope Microsoft is able to execute on this successfully, because I would love for this system to be a success and possibly encourage Sony to maybe try something like this as well. And even if they don't, this is still a win for gamers as a whole, because, you know, it just pursues that idea, that dream of having one box that can play, you know, a large variety of games from different places. So end of the day, I'm happy with this. I'm excited, looking forward to the future of Xbox. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Let me know how you're feeling about this. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as new videos go live. My name is Tyler. This is The Comfy Spot, and we'll talk next time. Have a good one.